Okay then guys, here we go. First race of the season. Oh shit! Oh come on! What's going on guys, my name's Batilio and welcome back to Project Cars 2 and the start of a brand new season of racing fun with the guys from the Weekly Sim Racing Championships. And this season is going to be a little bit different. So it's an entirely new format and, well, it's a little bit complicated. So this first episode is probably going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to have to run through the format just so you guys know what's happening. So, take a look at this on screen here. This is what we're going to be dealing with basically. So we'll be running 3 different cars this season. The BMW 320 Touring Car, the Ford Falcon V8 Supercar and the Renault Megane Trophy V6. And each of these cars will be driving for 3 races and then moving on to the next one. So starting with the BMW, we'll be taking in races at Oulton Park, Laguna Seca and Long Beach. And each round will consist of 2 races for these first 3 rounds. So we'll have a 15-minute sprint race and a 30-minute feature race, which will have a mandatory pit stop, and each of those races will be accompanied by a 10-minute qualifying session. Also, in addition to this, the first 3 races, we're splitting the points, so each race, if you win it, you get 12.5 points, and so on. It rounds it down to, you know, it's halves basically what you would normally get in a race, based on what I think is a Formula 1 style point system. Following on from that, though, we're next going to be in the Ford Falcon V8 Supercar. We'll be going to Bathurst, Spa and Snetterton, and this is a little bit more, you know, my cup of tea, I suppose you could say. So we'll have a 15-minute qualifying and a 45-minute race, and then the final 3 rounds of the season will take us to Sugo, Algarve and Brands Hatch, and we'll be in the Renault Megane Trophy V6, and that one again will have a 15-minute qualifying, but we'll have a 40-minute race, and that will have a mandatory pit stop. We're running real weather and realistic assists and so on and so forth, so yeah, that's basically the format. Like I said, a little bit long-winded, but what we're going to do now, though, is we're going to jump straight into some racing action, and we're going to see how myself and everybody else got on in qualifying for the sprint race. So, let's do it. So, on to qualifying, and our first qualifying session of the season, and being perfectly honest, it wasn't my greatest qualifying. I had a limited time to practice with this car, and so finding the sweet spot was very, very hard, but also I don't think this car really suits this track. I'm not a huge fan of the Oulton Park circuit, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I think this car around here is also a bit of a unique challenge, because this car doesn't seem to do very well over the bumps. I was running the rear as soft as I could, and the rear was also very, very temperamental as well. And I don't know, it just felt very, very snappy around here, you know. Just couldn't find the sweet spot, couldn't just, you know, get myself into the groove, I suppose you could say. And like I said, with limited practice as well, that didn't help the situation. But you know, we're not going too badly at the moment. We're currently sitting in 7th, and we're on course to maybe move up the rankings with this lap. But yeah, like I said, the front end's fine. The front end's relatively pointy, but it just feels very, very loose at the rear. I'm not sure what it is. Like I said, I've really basically 0 anti-roll bar at the back of the car just to try and soften it up and just give us a little bit more traction, but to no avail really. And if you don't get your turning right and you're having to kind of turn the wheel a little bit extra, that will snap the rear loose very, very quickly, and you could have yourself a little bit of a problem. But as you can see, coming through the end of the second sector, we are up by quite a big margin. This was we also had a bit of troubles, as you would imagine, trying to find a bit of space here, as we're going to pass someone who's stranded out of that corner. That was a theme. A few people had offs at that corner through the race, which we'll see in a little while. But as we come through the last corner, we're just behind Silverwolf, having to be very gentle through the corner there. That was another corner where a few people, including myself, had struggles. But as we come across the line, it's going to be a 147.255, which come the end of qualifying meant that we had put ourselves up into 6th position, which not the best qualifying, but it could have been worse. And like I said, I was relatively happy with that considering the troubles we had in the car and trying to find the sweet spot. So 6th was okay, I guess. I think we could have maybe improved, but you know, ran out of time and so on and so forth. But looking at the rest of the standings there, as you can see, one of the newcomers, Nasty PJ, who is the admin for this particular league, he takes his first pole position of the season. Then we've got Twisted Tire Fitter in second. He gave us a glimpse of the pace he had at the end of last season in the Cosworth when he qualified in 4th, but he's done it again today. Then we've got Cherry Glenn, who is also our teammate, and we'll get onto that at some other point. Then we've got Peo, who again returning from last season, followed by Matt Jeffrey, myself. Then we have Mitch, Tom, another of the newcomers, Trappy. Then we've got Silverwolf, and the final guy who you can't see there is a lad called Tyler, another one of our newcomers. So yeah, it's going to be a tough race, a difficult race, but what we're going to do now is we're going to head down to the grid and we're going to get the season underway proper. So let's do it. Okay then guys, here we go. First race of the season. Oh shit! Oh, come on! Well, that's fucking race wrecked already because I can't. I've got to pit in. Well, that was just. It came out of nowhere, came across me. I don't know if he had contact with someone else, but. Well, that's a shit way to start the season. Well, there's my teammate. I think he might have had an accident somewhere. Oh, please don't get in my way.
5 minutes remaining.
I think he's had a big accident somewhere. Well, we're up into 10th, but we're not really making an impression on the guy ahead, which is Peo. Are you kidding me? For that? One of the reasons I'm probably not making an impression is because I'm so hesitant. This car is absolute dog shit. It really is. Even with setup on it, it's crap. No idea why people voted for this. The whole season went to a vote and this was one of the cars that got voted in, surprisingly. It's absolute crap. Rear end is so temperamental. So I don't enjoy it, and I'm not a huge fan of this circuit either, because it is bumpy and this car doesn't like bumpy circuits. Just glad it's not an entire season in this thing, because I would have probably quit already. See what I mean? Oh, give me the Audi back. I don't know where we're going to get him because this track is so narrow. I suppose you just got to hope he maybe makes a mistake or a boo-boo. We had one at the chicane previously. You can just see how he's struggling with it. Although I think we all are, because this car is just not very good. Ooh, we've got a chance here maybe. No, it's going to be, he's going to defend the inside, so. Probably going to be down to the final corner that we do it. I did sort of nudge him. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, that's it. That's that done. Oh, come on, you piece of shit! Well, that's the race over with. Absolutely miserable race. Oh, God, he just, well, I mean, I pushed it a little bit too hard through that final corner, and you know, I wasn't really, I didn't have anything to lose, really. There wasn't anything to lose in that, you know. But our race got just completely chucked out the window. First corner, didn't he? Just, I'm not sure what happened. I don't know whether it was contact or someone went wide and maybe dropped it and hit the guy next to me who pushed, you know, and that pushed him into me and then me into the wall. Or whether someone just got wide and then just re-entered the racetrack, and that just, you know, it's a narrow racetrack and 3 wide isn't going to go. So I don't know. We'll have to see. You probably saw more than I did because you'll have the picture-in-picture. But yeah, race 1 in the books, and an absolutely miserable finish, to be honest. But what can you do? Hopefully the next race, the feature race, will be better, but I'm not expecting it to be, because I just really dislike this car and I'm not a fan of this track either, but we'll see what happens. So there you have it then, guys. Disappointing start to the season, and it was pretty much game over as soon as we'd started first corner, and you know, it was Tom. He got wide on the rumble strips and just lost the back end, like this car is prone to doing. It's prone to kicking its rear end out, and he just careered into me. I can't really blame him. It wasn't like he did it deliberately, but there we go. Disappointing race for ourselves. Looking at the rest of the finishing order, Twisted Tyre Fitter gets his first win of the season, so well done to him. Then we've got Mitch in second place, followed by Matt Jeffrey. And then we've got Trappy in fourth place, very good run for him. We've got Peo in fifth. Then we've got BMC, Tom, Silverwolf, Tyler, and ourselves in 10th. The one guy you can't see there is Cherry Glen. He started on second, I think he did, but then he had a big accident somewhere, and that pretty much put paid to his race chances. And the other guy that you can't see is our pole sitter, PJ. Basically, I think his connection dropped about halfway through the race, so that ended any hopes of him picking up a win there. But yeah, so disappointing start to the season, but what we're going to do now is we are going to move on to qualifying for the feature race and see how myself and everybody else got on there. So, on to qualifying for the feature race, and I'd love to be able to tell you that that we learned the lesson. We had an epiphany in terms of setup and how the car was to react. As you can see there, it just wasn't the case. Struggled to find a bit of space and a bit of a gap. With it being a 10-minute qualifying session, you are kind of up against this straight off the bat. But yeah, it just it started badly, and as we're going to see through this this quali lap, which was our best lap of the session, it just kind of gets worse and worse and worse, really. Like I said, the rear's still all over the shop, still struggling with the braking to get this thing slowed down. So you're having to brake earlier because you know that the wheels are going to you're going to probably get some front locking. Even with the mild braking, you get in locking. So I wound it down as far as I could, but any further, and it's just the brakes were just basically non-responsive. So not quite sure what the problem was. Maybe it's just this track. There are quite a few downhill braking zones which do put a bit of extra pressure on there. So we've got Silverwolf going for a little pirouette through the grass there. But yeah, not really much I could do. Honestly, I think I just needed more time in the car, which I unfortunately didn't have leading up to this round. But it's no excuse. Everybody has to qualify on the same track and in the same car as well. So suppose this season is going to be the great equaliser, I suppose, seeing as we'll all be in the same equipment on the same tracks and so on. But coming down towards the final corner here, you can just hear it. Just as soon as you get even mildly on the brakes, you just hear the front tyres starting to lock up and skid, which means, you know, it's just going to be so difficult to bring this car down. But as we come across the line, it's going to show us being a 1:49.848, but actually the time is a 1:49.7, which is still pretty terrible compared to our sprint race qualifying. We're 2.5 seconds down. So, like I said, it just went from bad to worse through this qualifying session, and there wasn't really much we could do. Like I said, I think I just need more time with the car to figure out setup and to get that sweet spot. But unfortunately, with it being a 10-minute qualifying session, there was no real time to do any kind of trial and error and so on and so forth. Looking at the rest of the standings though, and as you can see, Nasty PJ gets his second pole position of the event there. Twisted Tyre Fitter starts in the second place, and we've got Peo in third. Then we've got Cherry Glen, started second, had a terrible sprint race like ourselves, but he's got a good chance again of maybe picking up some points. Then we've got Silverwolf, again, he had a pretty poor qualifying for the sprint race, but he's done very well here to start in 5th. Then we've got Trappy in 6th place, and myself in 7th. Then we've got Tom in 8th, in the wrong livery. I might add, he is not our teammate. Cherry Glen is our teammate, but we'll let that pass. And then we've got BMC Racing, Matt Jeffrey, and the one guy you can't see there, once again, is Tyler. And yeah, so like I said, wasn't a brilliant qualifying, struggled with the car. Not really a fan of this circuit. It's going to be a difficult race. It's going to be a, I think it's a 20-lap race it is, and there is a mandatory pit stop. So, yeah, it's going to be a difficult one. But what we're going to do now, though, is we are going to head down to the track for the feature race and see how myself and everybody else gets on.
Keep an eye on the light. Watch out for wheel spins, and let's nail this start.
Okay then, guys, here we go. Got a good start this time. Oh shit! Oh god damn it again! Oh fuck's sake! Well, thankfully, at least there's no damage this time. That was probably my fault, I don't know. I got a good run off the guy ahead. But once again, it's all gone to shit. Because I bloody hate this track, and I especially hate this car, so this next few races are going to be so fucking painful. Until we get to those V8 supercars. Thought someone else has had a boo-boo. Right then, well, we've got a real uphill battle on our hands to try and get back. Really in two minds about that one. We've got someone in the pits early. It's Peo. So is he fixing damage or is he just getting it out of the way? There's another one gone off. So we're back to where we started. with 15 laps to go. Whoa, shit, no, 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 no! Oh, fucking car! So crap over the bumps. Oh, that was... Oh, shit. I was busy watching in my mirrors and then I adjusted because I kind of saw I was maybe going off the road. I don't know whether I screwed him up behind. Oh, fuck's sake. I fucking hate this car and this track. Just... brake marker boards flying all over the shop. Tom's had a boo-boo. I give you very strong odds that Tom, who just had that boo-boo behind us, he'd give anything to be back in that M3, I'm betting. I kind of feel sorry for him. That, you know, oh, finally I'm out of the M3, it's slow and it can't keep up with the Audis and the Skylines. Then he gets into this bloody thing. It's absolute garbage. He's just so twitchy at the rear. I don't know what it is. And it hates the bumps. And... I don't know what else I can say about it. Other than describe my burning hatred for it. See what I mean? Just even there, the slightest hint of where you're braking traction going over bumps or curbs, and it just flips out and loses its mind. So we're once again back up to 7th, but we've got Mitch ahead of us. We've got someone going off-road. Not sure who it was. That was Matt Jeffrey, I think. Yeah, and that's the thing, when you have zero confidence in the car, you're just constantly driving within yourself. It's like I'm constantly tippy-toeing. Constantly waiting for this thing to bite me. Okay then, here we go. Fuel and tyres, if all goes according to plan, and I hope it does. What are you doing? Change the tyres, douchebags! Oh, bloody, it would be 5 nuts, wouldn't it? Where's the single nut? Oh, now they've got to do the back ones as well. I really regret changing tyres now. I didn't know about this. I thought it would just be... You know, where's the rest of it? Where's the guys on the back wheels? Why is it just 2 of them doing 4 wheels? Well, this stop was a lot longer than I intended it to be. Stop like that in the Audi would have taken me, what, 12 seconds? That one took me 30. So I'm way down in 8th place now. But now it's going to be a sprint to the finish, so got a bit of work to do. Got some clear road ahead of us. And we'll see what we can do. And now we've got what I assume is the lead up coming round to lappers. We haven't been given blue flags yet, but as soon as we do, we will get out of the way. Jesus Christ, how the fuck did he get on the back of me that quickly? I suppose that's the difference between P7 and P1. He must be going through that bend flat out. I can't do that. This car won't allow me to. Even though we're driving the same car. I just have zero confidence in it. So I can't push it. I'm always hesitant, waiting for it to snap at me. And he's just got that, you know, snappy handling. I was trying to click my fingers when I should have been changing gear. Do you know what I mean? I think that any hopes of the guys ahead having to serve a mandatory pit stop still are all but dead, unless they do it now. Well, there we go. Because we're a lap down, we finished a lap earlier. There we go, guys. 7th place. We started 7th. We made a decent start, and we made a stupid mistake. I closed on the guy ahead. I'm not quite sure who it was. I closed on him a lot quicker than I thought I did, and then as soon as I hit them, I realised that I was going to hit them. I kind of took a little bit of evasive action, and then I hit them at the wrong angle, and it just spun me around and out, and then I was playing catch-up again. So, yeah. Not very, like I've said it probably in both races, not a fan of this car at all, really dislike it. I'm happy that this is only going to be for 3 rounds, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But what we're going to do now is we're going to hand over to the other Matilio for the post-race analysis. So there you have it then, guys. Round 1 in the books, and nothing other than disappointment, really. To have both races, the sprint and the feature race, effectively end by turn 1 on lap number 1. Really disappointing. So I'm not a big fan of this track, admittedly. You know, it's narrow, it's bumpy, and it's never really suited me or how I like to drive a car. So yeah, but on the car itself, very difficult to drive. Having minimal practice time didn't help things, but you know, I've got a lot of work to do to try and get my head around this car in terms of setup, and to, you know, to be able to get it to a point where I can actually, you know, get my foot down earlier and be able to push it and have confidence in the car, and you know, in a situation where I've got to lean on the car. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of hard work, and I suppose we'll see what we can do. Looking at the rest of the finishing order though, and Twisted Tyre Fitter gets another win, so very well done to him. He's had a very, very good start to the season. Now this is where it gets difficult, because Nasty PJ, the pole sitter for this race, I think he actually finished second, but he got booted out the lobby very, very quickly after the race finished, and so it didn't classify him on there. He was very much in frame for the win, but I think he had to pit twice. The first pit stop didn't go according to plan. It didn't put fuel in, and he had to pit again to get fuel. So yeah, disappointing for him. Obviously, from 2 pole positions, he's got only 11 points, which we're going to have a look at in a moment. Then we've got Peo, followed by BMC Racing. Then we've got Matt Jeffrey and Silverwolf. Myself, it shows 6th, but I finished 7th, as we all know. And then we've got Trappy 666. Tom, Mitch, and Tyler Attenbomb. The last one you don't see on this board here is actually Cherry Glenn, our teammate. I think he got kicked early on in the feature race, so disappointed for him. He had a big accident in the first race, and that is not going to help our team standings going forward. But looking at the table now after the first round of the first 2 races, so we've got Twisted Tyre Fitter with a fairly commanding lead, an 8-point lead there at the top of the standings on 26 points. Then we've got Peo, Matt Jeffrey and Mitch all tied on 14 points apiece there. Then we've got BMC Racing on 13, Trappy on 12, Silverwolf and Nasty PJ on 11. Then we've got Tom on 10, ourselves on 9.5, Tyler Attenbomb on 8, and Cherry Glenn on 3.5. So yeah, not a brilliant start to the season. We've got a lot of catching up to do. We're already, what, 16 and a half points behind, so we've got a lot of work to do to catch up. But yeah, that's the end of today's episode, guys. So thank you everybody so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, would like to see more Project Cars 2 or just general racing content from myself, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you want to get involved with the guys from the Weekly Sim Racing Championships, there is a link in the description to their Facebook group. There's still a few spaces in, I don't think there's spaces in Division 2, but there might be in Division 3 that's starting up. So if you want to get involved, make sure you go check out that link. Tell them Martinio sent you. But again, guys, thank you everybody so much for watching. Stay cool, and as always, I will catch you in the next video. Peace!